so hard to get their team back
Whew.
into the series. So far, it's been all one team. That's not necessarily what we like.
So real quick, with the goals in mind, let's take a look at the teams. So if we look at red side, okay, what do they got? Immediately I see Lucian Brahm's a really strong bot lane. Okay, they got that going for him. They have Faker, but he's on Akali, and they also have Khan on Aatrox, right? They're pretty good solo laners. Akali is, either way, let me backpedal a little bit. Aatrox is really good flanking. He's really good at side laning because he can definitely sustain. Akali, if you look at their side laners, maybe a little hard for her to execute that, but she's still very good at side laner. She can buy a lot of time in fights, whatever. Anyways, this team is really good at skirmishing, right? That's what we'll say right now. Okay, cool. Let's look at the other team. All right, so you got a Jace, really strong lane pick into Aatrox, really good. So a lot of pressure up there. Elise is going to have way more pressure 1v1 in jungle early than Sedge will, so it's very scary to face check that. So again, assuming that all lanes are equal and everyone's blind, Sedge has to proceed with caution. And then if they do have control inside the map and Elise is playing up to there, it's very hard for Sedge to do anything on that side of the map, right? All right, now mid lane, this is interesting. You got a Renekton. Now they picked Akali, and this is why I'm pretty sure this is why they picked Renekton. Point and click stun can last a pretty long time with Max Fury. Team at AoE doesn't matter if she's in Shroud. Q AoE doesn't matter if she's in Shroud. His ulti ticks, right, for damage over time. Doesn't matter if she's in Shroud. It's an AoE damage effect, right? It's gonna hit. His E's AoE. He has to go through the person, but usually he can get that off of his stun. It's it's impossible for Akali to dodge all of Renekton's damage output, right? On top of that, just the way Renekton works, right? With his Q, his team out, whatever, he's gonna be able to shove waves a lot more consistently than Akali. So again, we have priority mid. We should have priority top lane too with that Jace pick. Okay, cool. So right now, if we're looking at Griffin, they have the strong side of the map on the mid and top side, right? But their bot lane, you got Ezreal, Shen, right? Against the Lucian Braum. Lucian Braum are way stronger, right? Now we're going to look at this game from the perspective of Griffin. So with that in mind, okay, we have really two strong tools to work with mid and top side. Bot lane's a little sketch, but it's an Ezreal TP. He should be able to manage, right? Okay, cool. Now, let's start to think about our early game plan. Now, the first dragon is Ocean. They can see that. So, if they get Ocean at all, then their issue bot lane is just solved. You can argue the similar thing for the other side of the map. Ocean early is really huge. So, if you have any way to get that, it's awesome. Now, since they have a really weak bot lane matchup, getting Ocean's a little sketch, but they do have the better mid lane matchup. So, it's feasible. It's feasible if they can get some advantage to look for it, but it's more feasible that they can at least deny it from the enemy team. But let's look a little further into what can they work with, right? If you're Griffin, right, where do you want to play to? What's your options? Well, we know the jungler is stronger than Sedge in a 1v1 scenario, just running accidentally face checking each other in the jungle. Okay, cool. So immediately, if you're Tarzan, you don't really care what scuttle you go to. Now you don't have bot control, so probably want to go to top scuttle because you don't get rotated on. You'll be able to beat Sedge, but you won't be able to beat Sedge in their bot lane. So with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and go bot to top in terms of clear. Most likely, that may be different. Who knows? We'll see. You could go top to bot just to alleviate some pressure from bot the moment you hit 3 and you're down in that vicinity. If you see Sedge starting bot side, there is flexibility here, but I would assume bot to top into deep vision, reestablishing deep vision, so that Jace can play as aggressive as he wants. So the question is, what are their advantages in the early game? What do they have to work with? Well, it's the Jace pick. Whenever you draft Jace, you have to invest into it. And it's going to do really well in the con, but we want to make sure that, I want to say con, I mean Aatrox, the player's con. We want to make sure that he doesn't get punished for being aggressive. We need Jace to be able to play the play style of a Jace and create advantages by being aggressive. And the only way we do that is by establishing vision for him to work with so he knows where Sejuani is, and at least having proximity. It's very easy for Elise to dive too, right? And the only other thing that kind of screws him over is if Akali roams. Well, we have a Renekton who can perma-push mid faster than Akali can. So, again, topside is just freed up to do whatever the hell they want, assuming we invest vision, assuming we invest some jungle proximity to it. So that should be the play style, right? Now, obviously, Elise is clear. We'll bring her down to the bottom side of the map. We've talked about this in practice before, that, okay, if there's opportunities down there, go for it. If she has some vision that needs to be established, she can place it. But ultimately, we want to see that proximity move to top side and then invest resources and time and pressure into the top side of the map to get the advantage they need to win the game. Now, again, if something happens bot and her clear brings you down there, that's fine, right? All right, so let's go ahead and watch.
Almost every LCK summer finals has been either.
This game's a smash, so I can unmute.
Not too many 3-0s.
Okay.
And I can put you on. If you stream, I can throw you on my second monitor.
Yeah, it's streaming. I posted it in streamers live. All right, so they got Shen's flash right off the bat. Interesting level 1. Yeah, Sedge is starting topside, and this falls in line with what I was talking about, right? Like, Sejuani doesn't really want to interact with Elise. It's a bad matchup for her. On top of that, we looked at, okay, what do we have to work with, right? So we have huge priority in Griffin topside, good priority in mid lane on Griffin, right? So if Sejuani gets a better leash starting bot lane and goes bot to top, she probably, if she goes for that top scaling scuttle, she's going to die, or she's just not going to get it. And then Elise will walk bot, and Sedge gets double scuttle, which is not good. So the adaptation here is I'm going to have to start topside, right? And work my way bot to guarantee a scuttle. I'm going to make sure the scuttle I'm getting is on the side of the map that has pressure, which is that Lucian Braum lane. Whereas we look at Griffin, again, they're starting bot to top because they know that they have a really good matchup top lane, and they can guarantee mid priority. So Scuttle's free, and they can start establishing vision again to work with. We've already said this to enable the Jace. Immediately flash onto the Jace. Trade flashes. It just makes it harder for Sedge to get some ganks off, but it makes the Jace vulnerable, right? And we don't want that. It's interesting that the casters are saying SKT wants to play topside. I know they like Khan, but, from my perspective, Renekton should have the priority here. On top of that, Jace is just naturally going to be able to do more in the first 2 levels than Khan, so they don't have any priority at all. Now, they could punish Jace for being up, okay, but they should expect Elise to be investing up there, so it doesn't really make sense. So this is interesting. Sedge cleared top to bot, then immediately went back, just buffs only, then immediately went back top to be near top side for the scuttle spawn. So he's just trying, I guess, to make sure Aatrox is fine. It's an interesting clear. So both junglers are ignoring bot side. Now Renekton's recalling. So I wonder if he just blows TP immediately here to guarantee that that Tarzan can go for this scuttle without issue. Yep, they're already looking for the dive. Like we said, this is like their whole game plan. Oh, and look. See, this is why, I'm just going to pause right here. They have it, SKT has an advantage to work with bot lane. Okay, cool. All right. And Griffin has an advantage to work with topside, a really good advantage. Okay, so we expect that. So why is Klid trying to path to alleviate their weakness topside when we were expecting that? And mid lane, okay, Renekton recalled, but they didn't see that. He recalled in fog. He shoved out mid lane. Okay, so this could be a 3-man dive topside. We don't have any vision if you're SKT really to work with up here, and you should expect proximity from Griffin in this top side. So doing this weird clear, just buff the buff back to the weak side of the map, is really risky. And Klid just blew flash trying to kill Doran, right? So this could very easily be a kill. Yeah, he's dead. Yeah. And now this guy's boned. I mean, actually, he doesn't have repel, and Jace doesn't have flash. So this is going to be a little sketch. All right, they TP. That's depressing. The fucking plant. A little sketch. That was really a sketch. Whatever.
And I mean, this is a huge turnaround for them. All of the early game pressure now is going to be mitigated. Chovy, he's going to take a bite out of Klid. Teleport coming in.
It never ends, does it, here in game 3?
Wow. Again, why? I know you got kills, but they're still around. And there's something Castro mentioned too. They have all this top pressure on Griffin. That skirmish going even is really good for SKT because it mitigates some of that pressure. Yeah, but it doesn't mean it's gone. And yeah, you killed like one person. You should be aware, especially as a pro team, that a TP is still available for Jace to get back here in case you try to path into the river. Like you still don't have control on that side of the map. And then meanwhile, though, Lucian and Braum are shoving in this Ezreal lane. Ezreal's half HP as we expect. And now, after all the stuff that happens, the clear naturally brings at least bot side, right? And now she's in the vicinity. The enemy bot lane is really shoved up. Maybe she could look to do something here. But again, the emphasis, there's a lot of action and stuff going on top lane because that's where their strength is. They're playing to it. Now, just game state has brought her down here. If there's an opportunity, she'll try it. But immediately, I would expect Elise to go back top side. Also, just want to point out the sweepers, right? Shen already had a sweeper. Jungle already had a sweeper. It's completely normal for you to get sweepers first recall, right? So it is a thing. So I know Chris C started doing it, but they just make sure you keep it up.
And realistically, I thought everything would end after Faker teleports in, but Khan able to combo this really well, pulls Tarzan back in. Tarzan, he was able to live from this via his repel.
I'm watching Faker right here. Yeah. That was kind of Tarzan's mistake. He needed to play that a little safer. This should have been Griffin's fight to win easily. All right. He's just not playing something slow enough. Yeah, then the kill on the Kled. And there it goes. If you double click on video, it'll go full screen, by the way. Yeah. You can also click here. I guess I should be doing that to make it a little easier for you guys to see. Thanks, Justin.
So definitely a little bit anticlimactic in light of how much action we've had so far in this game. Doran, he has a CS advantage right now.
As the casters are saying, it's CS advantage that he should. Klid's still investing top side. I don't know. At least gets some bot stuff, resets, whatever. Now let's just take a look at why is this? The video's like fucking up. What the hell? Why does this keep pausing? Real quick. Oh, Rob, thanks for the follow. All right. Anyways, back to the stuff. Actually, I kind of missed what Elise did there. I want to see this again. Why does this just keep pausing? This is really annoying. I'm just gonna make a new lobby. Oop. It's a new link. Oh, okay. All right. Funny pandas. I thought the lobby was bugged, Rob, so that's why I made a new one. All right. So going back to what Elise was doing.
Coming in.
Yeah, see, it keeps happening. Why?
But Griffin,
that's so weird. All right, now it's fine. That was so weird. All right, again, clear. Brought Elise to bot side. That's fine.
After all those flashes in action in the early game, we have been able to slow down a little bit after that one. A bunch of gold in the pockets of the mid lane.
Again, yeah. So Reacting Pick still consistently pushing out quicker than Akali does. They're not 1v1. It's not like guaranteed Reacting wins for sure, assuming that a Faker gets some poke off beforehand. But it's more of just lane control, right? We have the priority to work with.
A lot of great stats on the side of SKT for the champions that were picked for everything except Lucian. Teddy's only 1-1 in summer. That
Lucian has a very mild CS lead, as we would expect. That's fine. Now let's take a look at Vision, because we're at the... Actually, let's just watch this. And look, Renekton's able to rotate way quicker. Faker has to blow ulti to try to salvage Clid from dying here. But again, our focus is topside, right? Clear bot side. Tarzan is still the better matchup 1v1. They guarantee a mid priority. Tarzan clears out, does his clear, clears out some vision, sits there for a moment to see if something happens. Sejuani face checks. There's a clear winning 1v1. Renekton has priority, as he should, so he's able to rotate quicker. Forces Faker to blow ulti just to even close the distance. Kled's forced to use Flash to get the hell out. And because of the jungler being forced out, they now get Ocean, which now guarantees that their bot lane Ezreal should be able to sustain and just farm out the wave indefinitely. So now the only weak point they have is mitigated, right? Faker trying to get some aggressive deep vision because they don't want to play topside. Being able to track it is good. Like I mentioned, defensive wards aren't always the play style for pro teams. It's just something we're doing because it's easier to get used to establishing. And then we can look at getting aggressive vision when we recognize that we want to play to a certain side of the map, or if we recognize that the team is doing a certain thing, we have windows to ward there. So that's again why they're investing vision up there. Right now, a lot of and they're going to dive again. So again, all this game has been was Tarzan going topside, right? Actually, I have to pause it this way. Tarzan going topside, right? Okay, cool. They made a big play happen. Got a little sketch for Moat, but fine. All right. Clear bottom bot lane. Okay. Did some stuff. Reset. Went bot lane again to throw down ward and clear something else. Clid face checks him. Okay, to take dragon. And immediately back topside. Like, again, there was some... He had reason to be bot lane due to game state and clear path. Got an advantage, used it, and then the emphasis is still top lane, though. Yes, we just killed their jungler. Yes, we just got Ocean. I've already got top lane ahead, but I'm still going back top lane once all this is done, because that's what they have to work with, and it's Elise is so easy to dive, and that's immediately they pull the trigger. Yeah, Conchi just died really easily here, and the Shen ults, and it enables these top plays too. Like, the Shen pick is so good here, because you have a winning top lane, you have a champion that always has priority mid, so they're always able to rotate towards top lane for any of the plays that are made, and then they have a support that can get there at the press of the button. So there's just no hope for them to invest anything into this top side of the map. So they have to be able to create advantage on the other side of the map. Like, use Elysian Braum, especially if they expect Shen to ultimate top lane for anything. They should be turning that into just killing Ezreal, taking the dragons, getting plates, and then the enemy team's going to be just getting solo laners ahead, taking place topside. And what I saw from Kled this game is him pathing and trying to have proximity to the side of the map that is just really weak. Yep, and they're trying to get something out of this, but that Ocean shouldn't have fallen because Kled needed to posture through jungle a little differently. And if they expect top lane to get dove, they could be in proximity down here in the first place and maybe get more plates, maybe a kill if Ezreal tries to defend it. They're gonna because one person's gonna die top lane if they do that anyways, and they're definitely lose plates anyways. So you don't really stop that play, at least in my opinion. Okay.
A trade where you're like kind of 60-40, maybe advantage, maybe less. But in terms of where the series was at, with like their kind of hands in their mouths in many ways, this is a big move for them. How far ahead is Faker in XP? Chovy still level 8 after this wave. Oh, just ping 9. Okay.
See, like, even though Faker it's way easier for Faker to get some poke out in the trade or lane trades, like Chovy just one-shots a wave. So again, always priority. I would still invest top lane here. Ping comes out, Jace runs a hell away. Because, again, you call your Mias, it's fine. Elise is clear again, brought her bot side, she's resetting. I would expect her to go right top again. That's nice. Nice Jace trade.
Gotta say, Doran is happy to play aggressive lane matchups wherever his mental state is at. It's something we could say for a very young player, very confidently, I think.
Yeah, the moment anyone's in proximity mid, Chovy doesn't have priority because Faker, like the way Faker clears the wave as a Kali, just chunks the laner. So it's like sketch. Where's Elite right now? Oh yeah, still in the lane. Again, like we said, we expect them to keep this emphasis topside. If she went bot lane again to do some clear, reset, gun to top lane immediately. We saw her walking through lane. And now what they're doing though is they're bringing the support mid to make sure that Chovy can't get his free priority, like we were talking about. And it basically slows down the play topside. So now they're going to do it because they can. Like Chovy got freed away from the wave. He's coming up. They immediately pull the trigger to try to make this happen. Point and click stun. This should be really easy to execute. We have the Shen ultimate. It's fine. There you go. And now they're salvaging. See, like if I were, I would just if I were them, like SKT, I just dive bot lane as Sejuani and Kali. Like you're not gonna stop this play from happening, and you should be expecting it. So at this point, you got the tower down, right? You play as Griffin. You play to your strength in the first phase of the game, made it happen. Awesome. Tower's fallen. Now what, right? You still, in my opinion, you still go topside, get that Herald, and just keep powering down the solo lane. You don't need to do a swap and start securing dragons and try to even out the map. They may choose to do that, but I think they just need to start establishing control and try to get Herald. And look, SKT is trying to do Herald before they get back on the map. They're trying to stop it. Looks like Griffin put some, I guess they wanted Air Dragon. Interesting. I still think Herald's a better play. Yeah, okay, Air Dragon, whatever. If they get Elder, whoop-de fucking do. But you can use that Herald with the pressure you have in your solo laners to just blow open the game. That should immediately be a trigger for them to try to dive bot lane. Yeah, you call in Herald, and now the strong Braum Lucian lane are forced just to stay off tower because they know that they're investing topside, which, again, they really shouldn't be, in my opinion. Does not make sense to me.
SKT able to get up there and pick up Shelly, the Rift Herald, and in the end, it just ends up being the trade of the turrets. As in the bottom lane, we did have a bit of action coming in here. Saw that on the minimap, but they are able to trade the turrets in the end.
It's very problematic that
the Jace it's actually soft down here in the bottom lane.
The Jace has picked up so much turret gold and is going the Black Pen sieging build. If you see something like Blade of Ruin King into Black Cleaver, that's about trying to burst down a tank. This very much
Now what? That's what they do. Them getting Herald's kind of interesting. All right, now it looks like they're trying to make a play on their strong side of the map. You have the lane gank coming through, the mid lane roam. This is what we should have seen earlier in the game, with SKT playing to what they have to work with. At least gunning a top lane. I think you should just let this Jace walk all the way up. Move your vision line into the top side enemy jungle if you're Griffin, and just keep doing what you've been doing. Get mid priority, rotate over, and just dive Aatrox and get a tower every time. And yep, there you go. Invading the jungle. They're going to establish wards, as they should. There you go. Deep aggressive pink. It's moved up. He actually changed the position to Raptor Wall. It's fine. Soon a camp. And he's just shadowing, making sure that this guy can do whatever the hell he wants. Mid lane has priority. Chovy's free to roam over if need be.
He's doing pretty well in the mid lane. In a top lane, Khan has been able to fight back a little bit, but still definitely heavily Griffin.
That was a kind of sketch trade by Dora, and I think he kind of scuffed the play. Now he's just a little too chunk. Support roamed up, so they're trying to stop them playing to their strength. Okay, whatever. They have to do that, though, to slow down these plays. Because bot lane just sits down there trying to do their thing. Griffin gets to play the way they want to the whole game. And SKT already kind of fumbled their opportunity to play with the Braum Lucian lane. So now they're stuck trying to alleviate the enemy team playing their playstyle, which kind of sucks. And Ezreal's going to scale up just fine. Lucian's no joke late game too, but Lucian's so much stronger than Ezreal early, and he just kind of lost that whole window. And again, look, Tara's an emphasis. They've already gotten a ton of kills top lane. They've already gotten towers top lane. But he's still coming top lane because that's their strength. It's more exhibited when you have a Jace in your team because a lot of teams, you have to invest in that pick, right? But even if it wasn't Jace, there's some other really good matchup. Those are the clear strength of the team. You would still see this. And I'm just tying this into what we've been working with in practices lately because I just want you to see that it's not bullshit, right? It's not made up. This is something that people actually do. It works. This is why.
I think that the real question is going to be not how much gold are they ahead, but where are the items actually sitting? Because as long as Lucian can get a recall up, get the Black Cleaver, which he did just complete.
Old school style, right?
Yeah,
The Blade of Ruin King Black Cleaver coming back.
Yeah, and if Aatrox can also get an item completion before this next fight, if Griffin is ahead 3,000 gold, but all of their champions are pooling 700, then the on-field battle stats aren't really representative of any sort of a difference in SKT potentially.
Yeah, it's so hard for Chovy to get the trades in Faker. He guarantees shoves waves way faster and can get priority, but like I was saying earlier, straight 1v1, it's so sketch. Man.
Giving up some of your top lane control for setting up the vision to actually fight for Infernal is what SKT have to do because they're behind, and that's why they're making these vision missions.
So we got Dragon coming up.
Oh boy, Faker, you
At this point, with the advantages that Griffin have, they can team fight.
extremely low in the bottom side.
So their win condition were side lanes, but when these objectives come up with the gold tower, gold they got from towers and the gold they got from kills straight up right now, and the CS leads they have with their laners, they can do these fights. Yikes.
The entire Griffin team nearly was down there, and Faker is going to be able to back away at least. But Khan giving away a free kill. Chovy does have to flash away. That's an awkwardly placed culling, but at least Chovy did have to flash there. But
Yep.
Griffin,
Now we just get dragging this.
after this one, Infernal, and a
Oh man, if SKT had something to work with, if they just played to where their strength was and got some advantage, these fights wouldn't be so one-sided. Like their top laner is so fucking weak, but their other side of the map isn't strong enough to compensate for that. Whereas their bot, like if you look at Griffin, their bot lanes went even. Okay, cool, and then their top side of the map's really fucking strong. It's like you need to play your own game, not play to the enemies.
And it makes it so relevant even in a siege, right? Because the QWs are going to be popping people, the Ezreal do the rest of the work. Chovy's behind Faker.
Faker doesn't seem to mind too much. Looks like he'd like to get that dominance away. Here it comes, and Chovy's looking for the kill actually, but perfect execution comes out. It's going to be a big amount of damage traded back onto Faker. Both of them will blow their ults. Faker hits level 13 to reach parity with that Renekton, but this was the play that Tarzan was able to
Yep.
make that got Griffin
They
so
got
ahead.
control.
Make it playing with fire a little bit because Griffin were happy to back up.
Notice how Elise doesn't just repel into Faker or whatever. He's playing it slow, sitting back, throwing spells out. Because once you take that repel in, it's just it's fucking doomed if it was a bad repel, right? You can play the fight slower. And then we have Con Power in here. Again, he didn't have information, but that's even more reason not to do that, right? Yikes.
Yeah, that's going to be one play that he'll try to not show people on the highlights if SKT do end up winning this one. But it's definitely not over yet. I remember talking about before game 2 how Griffin had to show something to make this a series.
Yeah, so all right, so now they got their laners really ahead, they got clear advantages. They got complete dragon control. Their options right now are if they want to split push, they can and just try to see if they can just win the game through that. They can. They just win team fights now too. It's really hard for anyone to solo lane to Akali, so that they cannot leave people alone against Akali. Now Renekton might be able to pull it off if he has a wave to work with for his Q healing, but I still don't think you do that. So, but like we said, they can split push. They can team fight now because of the advantage. They have such a good advantage over it. On top of that, they could also just play to Elder. They have 3 dragons right now, right? So if they wanted to stall the game to 35 minutes and just end with the complete dragon control they have, they could. That's a little sketchier. I wouldn't recommend doing that unless you just like lost. Let's say you have dragon control, but you lost control of the game entirely. Then like you can't do anything. You just wait to try to throw all your eggs into the Elder that's spawning. But in this case, they have complete control. So there's no reason to look at that. So your options are split pushing, team fighting. I think at this point, you just cover each other and fight. You don't need to necessarily split push because those are skirmishes, and skirmishes go either way. Whereas if you just have your fully amped up team to dragons, it's so much easier for them to execute. And Ezreal's matching Lucian's strength, if not better, at this point in a team fight scenario. He has his Merman complete. All right. So the game kind of stagnated. It's been a little weird. They took the free kill on Khan, and then they had to rotate back and deal with waves. So it is what it is. I want to see them kind of pull the trigger, though. They don't. I want to say team fight. They don't have to just siege and just fight. They just need to get lane shoved out. You can start with like a splitty situation with Jace, but to get lane shoved out, have everyone rotate over, and then if they try to punish the split Jace with the coverage of Elise, the entire team is actually technically there to support that, so it ends up turning into a fight. So again, Jace is back top lane, shoving it out. Elise is there to cover. Shen's nearby. They have complete Baron control because that's what they want to work with. All good. They're looking. They have just such good vision coverage right now. Topside, it's nuts. They forced a sweeper, so now this ward, all their vision topside is safe, unless Sedge comes up and uses hers. which if Sedge face checks are probably just gonna blow her up. Brom's a little safer because he has his stand behind me, or yeah, his stand behind me because he can jump to his allies. So it's a lot more sketch for Sedge to face check and deal with this. Yeah, look at that insane vision control. Look at all those red wards, dude. It's fucking nuts.
Well, we're getting started here on the first Baron of the game. It's almost 25 minutes in, and SKT
Yeah, they're melting that shit.
so far behind the coming on in like
All right, so I just want to talk about this. Is fucking nuts. All right, so if you're Griffin, the call like with that HP, the call should definitely be to okay, we're definitely going to secure, like we're gonna burn this Baron, like we are finishing the Baron and then looking to do what we need to do. If you're SKT in this situation, you have to make a choice. Now, based on the way it looked to me, the only option really is just to try to steal. And so Sedge was walking straight towards pit. The rest of SKT wasn't necessarily yet. You know, you had Con wrapping around the side. And okay, so that's what they want to do. But Griffin knows this, especially the support. Like, how do we stop Sedge getting in? Well, the damage dealers, if the call is to burn the Baron, they have to keep hitting Baron. They cannot waste time keeping Sedge out. Your jungler maybe could do it, but you need to find the same pit, whatever. Okay, cool. So who's the option then? It's going to be the support. Well, does the support have any tools? Yes, the support can taunt Sedge. He also can flash taunt Sedge since he was up. And there's no hesitation. The moment Sedge ends up near the pit, there's no hesitation by Lehens. He immediately flash taunts it. It looks fucking nuts. Because he's not doing it to kill Sejuani. He just guarantees that she cannot 50-50 smite this Baron. It basically guarantees that Griffin gets this Baron. Look at this. Watch Shen. Damn. And then he stopwatches for the aggressive play so he doesn't die right away. Yeah, so it looked good. Went kind of to shit. Yikes. So they still got the Barons, but now this is the downside. Let's watch how the fight played out. They are ahead, but they lost the fight, right? But the call was to commit to Baron, so they sacrificed being able to position correctly for fights, right? If they're all going to stay in pit and deal damage. Lehens tried to salvage it by keeping the jungler out to guarantee Baron goes down, which is good. But then you have to figure out how you're going to fight this. So they blew a ton of cooldowns to make sure this goes down. Braum gets a decent ulti. Khan comes in on top of the Braum ulti and gets some good Qs off. And Lucian's able to get a free calling on the side. So again, you have all these members blowing cooldowns to make sure Baron goes down in time. They're sacrificing positioning for a fight to get it. Even though they're ahead, I mean, they decided to commit to the Baron, and it makes it harder for them to win the fight, which is, you know, that's so it goes. As long as they live with the Baron, it's okay. It's okay. They're still stronger once they reset here, or once they come back up. So I don't necessarily think that it was like, oh god, this is so bad, you know, Griffin's so ahead, and how did they lose that fight? Well, because of the call they made, they lost the fight, right? Maybe they could have changed positioning or maybe allocated more people to delaying the enemy team or setting up for a skirmish, whatever, right after Baron. Instead, they committed 4 players to DPS and 1 to stop the smite coming in. Yeah, look at this. You'll see the Braum ulti come in right into the pit. Khan come over the side, get a double Q right away. Skirmishing with a Kali gets good damage off with that Q, and then the free calling on the side. It was like an insane setup for them because, you know, the entirety of Griffin's in that pit because the call was to burn the Baron. So that's to be expected. They're still going to be stronger. We still don't want them to hesitate. They have Baron to work with.
Either way, at the end of the day, Griffin's still going to be enjoying this lead for now, but as LS was talking
Yep, like the cast was saying, they're still going to be enjoying this lead. Like that's a minor setback. The goal was to get Baron, right? They got Baron. And they still have people with Baron, too, who live. So now they have things to work with. They're being a little slow here with it. They have Chovy pressuring really hard, and they're investing topside with the Jays. Yeah, notice that the Elise is never leaving the Jays alone, because it's just such a strong side laner. They're investing into it. And investing into something doesn't necessarily mean you invest into it for first 10 of games and you just ignore it. And no, it means that you're going to work with it, because it's core to your composition. If that changes, you address it, and then you focus and your investment goes somewhere else. But it's been working, right? They're not going to suddenly leave the Jason just because he's so strong. Mission accomplished. Let's pack up our bags, move on to the next member of the team. No. That's our win condition, right? We're playing to it. We're not leaving it up. All right, now they get the siege going. I was waiting for this. It's a little slow. They try to get top lane shoved out a little bit first. They invest calling to try to delay this, but they still get force choked out. They're going to get this tower next wave. They rotate them bot lane, because, again, they are the stronger team despite what happened at Baron, so they can double tower here very, very easily. They should. There's no reason they don't get both these towers at all.
The purple worm. They get double inner turret.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that damage on the tank by Tarzan. That's nuts. All right, looks like they choose just to take that and leave. Whatever, it's fine. They got something with Baron, right? Baron's expiring. So spend the gold they got from shoving all side lanes and mid lane and the getting the towers, and then look for the next thing. We got dragon spawning in a minute, or 2.5 minutes, so they can just start choking out vision and just play for the next dragon, play a little slow, or they again can look at a lane with Jace, set it up as a siege, but then have lane shoved out and have the entire team rotate over. Because there's no reason to just do these skirmishes in the side lane when you have champions that can get priority and can group really easily. Because again, you have the Shen, who's never technically not there, right, with ultimate. Chovy's going to have TP, or he's always going to permission the wave and just be able to rotate. So it's that's what they should be doing, right?
We'll see what ends up happening. SK Telecom, they're free to keep scaling for the time being into their next core item completion. There's no major neutral coming up for another
Super
minute.
slow, yeah. It's like they don't not really sure what they want to do because
The Ocean Dragons.
it's hard. They could just take the tier 1 top, but then by doing that, the play will take a minute and a half maybe, and then they lose control bot side because the dragon is coming up. They won't be able to establish, basically forfeit vision control, and it'll be harder for them to establish that and guarantee they get the dragon after they get top lane and rotate down to try to get it back, right? It's a little sketch. So it looks like they're opting just to chill, get the dragon, and then look for something. Tier 1 is top lane is so low anyways. Now the other option is, they can just force on the inhib towers. A little sketch to do right now. Just a little bit sketch. They're not confident enough to do that. It's fine. So it looks like they're just chilling. They're going to set up for the next major objectives. Looks like Baron happens to be spawning at the same time. So obviously Baron's way more important. They're the stronger team, so they're going to invest in that instead. Looks like they see this and they're establishing. They're trying to trade mid for the setup of Baron that they're doing. Looks like they opt to let Jace just split here, which is fine. They can maybe get this tower, but Jace will just take an inhib. And then again, they have investment up here. They have Tarzan holding the gap. They rotate quickly. Immediately TP from Ezreal. Kled still Chovy still has TP, so nice. Nice. Notice how SKT is just trying to get grouped up before they get the lane's position. Like, Griffin's trying to get the game set up the way they want to play it. And SKT's only... Oh, damn. That calling fucking melted, Shen. SKT is just trying to just go. Just before they get everything in position. Because Griffin's going to get things in position ungrouped, and then they'll stay grouped. And they don't want that. So if they can deathball someone before that setup comes through, that's kind of their only option to get some free gold, to try to find a way back in the game, right? So again, 5 dragons now. Next dragon's Elder. If the game lasts long enough, they just auto-win. But all they do is choke out. Now, last time, they opted to burn the Baron and then deal with the fight after. Obviously, it didn't work. They still win fights, but they can't commit 4 damage dealers and sacrifice positioning to burn the Baron. So instead, they choke out like they did last time and get them to face check, but actually just straight up turn entirely. That way they can do the fight, set up in with the cooldowns on the way they want to, on their own terms, right? They're not going to sacrifice the way a fight starts or their positioning for a fight by committing to the burn the Baron. I don't think they do that again, unless they're able to start the Baron way before they can even react. All right. Again, they're forcing. They see them not grouped. They deathball. That's like their only option. They have to force as hard as they can before they're grouped. And now they're grouped, and now they can't really do anything. Good poke by Doran. And now this is just a matter of shoving lanes out, trying to find a gauge if they can, or just shoving lanes out and looking to Baron again, trying to get them to fight them. I don't think they burn Baron again, unless they're confident they can kill Baron well before the enemy team gets there. Yep. See, notice that, again, they're not opting to burn the Baron. They're just trying to look for the people face-checking the vision, because they can't see them. They know that they win fights. And this is an adaptation, right? They tried to burn the Baron with their lead last time, thought, oh, we just win the fight after as long as we get Baron. But no, it's not the case. They could have won that fight, but they sacrificed too much in terms of positioning. So now they do the same thing, but instead of looking to burn Baron, they're just looking to kill them every time they face-check. It's a great adaptation. And now they're going to try to salvage the fight. I don't see a way this works. Yeah, there's just no way. Because the only reason they won the last fight again is because Griffin sacrificed the setup for the fight by blowing all their cooldowns on Baron, by sacrificing their positioning for that fight, and that should just straight up be game. Let's just fast forward a little bit. Yeah, the game ended. Okay. So that's that. So let's think about it. What did they do well? Well, they identified, okay, we got a Jace. We got Prio mid, we got a Jace. Bot lane's kind of a sketch matchup. And they just pummeled that lane down. They did dives early. Yes, they did. They ended up getting forcing Kled out and getting an early Ocean Dragon because at least happened to clear bot side. But after that was done, again, immediately top lane. And then they had Chovy just roam, and these point-click stun, dove again. Okay, spent the gold reset. And then they did it again. Like, just because you get your strong side up does not mean you stop. And then even after lane phase was over and Jace was just managing the waves before they could group or set up vision, Elise was still covering him because that is a very strong member of the team. Probably had a decent bounty. It's something that if SKT can rein in, opens up windows for them to fight. And they never stop the coverage. Just because your Jace is strong and that's your strength on your team doesn't mean you ever leave it alone. You always invest into your strengths, right? It doesn't make sense to play to your weak side of the map and try to hope that it wins you the game. And that's what SKT did, right? We saw the Sedge doing the top to bot clear, which was correct, but then she did buff to buff and immediately went back top lane to try to stop a dive, which you don't have priority mid, you don't have priority top lane, and top lane just really sketch in terms of damage output and dives early, and she ended up getting invaded and died, like right off the bat in jungle. That screwed up the entire pace in the game, and then they were never able to play to their Lucian bot lane ever. And it was real rough. That's why you really need to play to your strength as a team, right? And the other thing I want to take away from this is that Baron fight, right? The vision setup was beautiful, right? It was so good. But they lost the fight. They still had Baron, and they recognized that they were still the stronger team, so that didn't discourage them. They immediately grouped up after the managed waves, and they grouped up and took 2 towers, tier 2 mid and tier 2 bot, right? Great. But the big thing that they did was the next time Baron came, right? They did the same setup with Vision, but they opted to not burn it. Yes, they're ahead. Yes, they have really good DPS, because the first time they killed Baron pretty quickly too, but they sacrificed way too much to secure it. They were all on the same page. They all committed to the call, right? Like, Lehen stopped the Sejuani getting in, and everyone else just burned Baron. But, again, they're sacrificing cooldowns, they're sacrificing position for the setup of the fight. It made it so it was very hard to win that fight, even though they were ahead. So, the adaptation is, let's do the same thing. After they got Baron, like, okay, we're still stronger, let's get the towers, great. And, okay, Baron's coming up, let's do the same thing we did last time, but, and we're the stronger team, we should be winning this fight, so why didn't we? Okay, it's because we sacrificed lower cooldown positioning. Okay, so let's do the same thing, and let's just not do Baron. Let's just play it slow. They face checked them, they almost got a pick, okay, SKT backed off. And it took about 4 attempts to enter and get control of that Baron pit, and before Griffin actually was able to pick someone and just end the game off of it. But the point is, they recognized that that's how they had to play it, right? Okay, the first pick didn't go off. SKT kept trying to poke in, get vision. It kept failing on Griffin's side to capitalize on that, but eventually it hit. And they committed to that choice because they know that if we decide to burn Baron, we're potentially, again, in the same situation what happened before. Sacrificing positioning, sacrificing our cooldowns, and potentially losing a fight because of that. And we don't want that, right? So really good adaptation and just a really good commitment to their win conditions. The defensive war line that we're working on in practice, you didn't really see here, again, because the pro teams are able to identify what side of the map really needs it and what they need to work with, and they can get really aggressive wards on that side of the map. We're not there yet as a team. It's better just to get used to committing to some sort of game plan for establishing division in general. Get used to doing that, and then we can translate that to other warring styles for the first part of the game. But yeah, the big thing, though, was that what their strengths are and what they can do as a team. They really exemplified that, and just that adjustment with the Baron call. It was really nice. So yeah, that kind of concludes this weekend's review. This was a little different in the sense that we looked at this week as a relation to what we're doing in practice, right? I wanted to relate what this professional team is doing and how it applies to what we're working on, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it. Last week, it was more of just looking at the team. Next week, since we're going to be on a different topic in practice, we'll probably be looking at something else. We may just look at the team as a whole, right, and see what they're doing good and what we can learn from it, or we may apply it to whatever we have to be working on next week, right? So yeah. So with that said, I'm going to go get something to eat because I just woke up. Hi, Digits. Sorry, I'm eating on out of here. But yeah, until the next stream. Worst case scenario will be next Saturday. I'm going to do the same thing every Saturday at noon. So, peace.